Welcome to the marriage. Welcome to the married village, guys.
No.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. One day we will show you guys the bloopers. You will know who's the crazy one. Anyway, guys. Karibuni sana. Welcome everybody to the married village. This is Tony and Terry, and we're just so glad to be here today. Those who are coming back, thank you so much for the love. Those who are new, please subscribe, share, like, and remember to hit the notification bell. Okay, so that you're informed once we upload a new video. Okay, so maybe some of you don't know that we have been receiving questions. You know, different people people ask different questions. And you can ask on the comment section, or you can email us, or you can social media handle The Married Village. You can always ask us this question. So we thought we will also be tackling some of these questions in our videos. So today is one of those days where we do a Q&A, but we have one very specific question. So our question today is, so the person says, Happy New Year, Pasi. I have been thinking about some issues titled Winning Him / Her Love Back. Many of us fall out of love because of some reasons. Being cheated on, miscommunication. After the breakup / separation, you start to feel like you want her or him back. How do you win her love back, Pasi?
Oh, after breaking up, it's over. It's over. It's over. I mean, you cheated on me. It's over.
I'm sorry, guys.
We're gone. We're gone.
I'm sorry, guys. That's not what we wanted to say. Please be serious.
Be serious.
Yeah.
Okay, winning her back. I think, first of all, it's imperative for you to make an introspective analysis. Why do you want him back? Is it the fact that is it an emotional thing? Have you gotten over them, or is it peer pressure, or are you being convicted? Because sometimes you can feel lonely, and you're just thinking you dated for a long time, and you were so used to being with somebody, and now the fact that you spend the holidays alone, or you're lonely, your weekends are very, very boring, and you're thinking, I feel lonely, and I was so used to having somebody, but now that I'm alone, I do not know how to live alone.
But you're talking about dating.
Dating, yeah.
So this is not in a married couple. But probably you've been spending a lot of time, that's why you're saying living alone.
Yes.
Because you're not supposed to.
Oh, yes. Correct, right. Correct.
So then you're talking about being alone because you're so used to this person's company, or you know that there is someone you call your own, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah. And now you're in this space and you do not know how to live alone. And it's important that as a single person, you learn how to love yourself or live by yourself before you invite somebody to that space.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for somebody to fill that vacuum or that void in your life, you're going to be disappointed. You need to bring your whole self into the relationship. And so first of all, are you being convicted? And is it the right thing to do? Have you healed? Because if it's something as serious as infidelity, if your boyfriend or your girlfriend cheated on you and you did not deal with it exhaustively, then chances are that you might be hooking up again and getting into another problem.
Right.
And so that is first and foremost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once that phase is over, once you've established, right? So once you've established that I don't want him or her back because I'm feeling lonely, or I don't want him or her back because of societal pressures. So then what next?
If you know for a fact you don't want them back, then don't go ahead with the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what if you want them back?
If you want them back, next step is to pray about it. Because if you're a believer, I'm a strong proponent of involving God in something as serious as a relationship. Because if you're going to get married, if this is the person that you're hoping to date with the intention of getting married, you need to be sure that God is in it.
Right.
Because yes, you can be healed, and maybe you've resolved all these other things, but you want to get back with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And this person might be okay, because the wrong person does not mean that they're bad. It just means that you are incompatible when it comes to purpose.
Right.
And so you need to pray and be sure that you're being led by God, because if the two of you get back together, and your purpose is not aligned, you're not congruent and running the same direction, that's a disaster that is waiting to happen.
But then there's this other, there's this question that many times I've read it, I've heard people ask about it, and the question is, how do you know that this is the right guy? Or this is the right lady for you? Let's take away prayer out of it. But what are some of the little things? Because just like you, I 100% I believe in prayers, a lot of things are going to be sorted out. And then we have very lazy believers, very lazy people who just don't want to put the work in prayer. That's how you go to a man of God, a woman of God, anybody, or just asking someone, do you think I should marry this guy? And yet you're the one who's going to spend the rest of your life with this guy. So yes, there's a huge, almost 99% part of prayer, if not 100. But what are some of the things that you can know he's the one or she's the one? Or what are the red flags? I don't know. But that question is asked every other thing, every day.
Okay. First and foremost, I believe should be purpose. I know for men, most men will go for attraction, because if you're attracted to this guy, you're really thinking that this could be a good wife because you're attracted to that, which is totally okay, nothing wrong with that. But purpose is of paramount importance. Are the two of you aligned? Do you believe in the same values? Do you believe in the same? Are you convicted about the same things? Do the same things tug at your heart? And so when you begin to have serious conversations, for instance, what is your philosophy about raising kids? How many kids do you want? What is your philosophy about finances? What do you believe about tithe? What do you believe about world peace, for instance? All those things are extremely important. Even politics, because we know of couples who, during election time, it's really like this year, it becomes a war zone.
This year in Kenya?
Yes, in Kenya. And so, knowing that, realizing that both of you are flowing in the same direction, not necessarily doing the same thing, because sometimes when it comes to purpose, you're thinking that if your spouse is in business, then both of you have to be business minded.
No.
Absolutely not. One person can be in a career, the other person can be in ministry, but you are concerned about the same things. You have the same values. Your belief system is informed from a place of conviction. So that is of paramount importance, because a marriage that is not hinged on purpose it will be disastrous.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is a lot of communication needs to happen.
Yes. Extensive communication.
Absolutely. Between the two of you who are dating, you need to have talked about everything and anything. Some people say when you ask so many questions, someone can think you're being inquisitive. Someone can think you're being too much in their business. Yeah. Yes, you are. And it's okay to be all up in their business. Because this is your future spouse. So you need to know everything and anything. If you need to ask about the grandmother, everything. Because what we've realized in marriage and dealing with so many couples is this life that you're living. Once you guys get married, you get married to a whole lot more people.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just the two of you, but so many things are tied to purpose, to destiny, to curses, to blessings, to whatever it is. So you really need to talk about anything and everything.
Exactly.
Right.
You need to find even the issue of finances, and we'll have a whole topic on that, a whole video on that, just to discuss about money. But then it's important to know, does your partner believe in a prenuptial agreement or not?
Yeah.
Because that is coming up very, very, it's becoming prevalent right now, that I need to protect my assets, or we need to protect each other.
Yeah.
And so you need to know, when we are getting to this contract, this covenant, which is for all intents and purposes is a contract, what are we signing up for?
And so true, because even today, many women, the 21st century woman, so many of them are beginning to say, I don't want a child. I don't want a child. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They just say, I don't want a child for one reason or another. So you can be getting married to a woman who, I'm looking forward to this kids and what, and the lady says I don't want, or the lady says I don't want a child, and you say, oh, they're going to change their mind along the line. Yes, some do, but some will not. So it cannot be a problem now, 5 years later, because you thought she's going to change her mind. She told you. So you need to talk about everything and anything.
Exactly. Another thing is that when you're trying to win her back, you must ask yourself, what has changed? In other words, what do I need to do that is different? Because if you dated for some time,
Yeah.
the skills or the words or the methodology that you used to win her back the first time might not work this time. And so you need to apply some wisdom or do your own research or whatever it is you need to do to think again, what can I do that is different that will make them see me in a different light? For instance, if your ex complained about your dressing or your grooming, you may need to up on that. If they complained about certain things, just go back and really try to, because if you're going back, if you want your partner, your ex to come back to you and you're still the same person, it might not work.
And that's true. And you know, there's so many motivational speakers who say, you know, do you, be you, and everything. Well, that is okay. In fact, I mean, I love that. But there's also a part where I strongly shout it from the rooftop, don't do you. Because at times you is toxic. At times you is not healed. So when you do you and say, hey, this is how I dress, period. Well, it might not be, you might be dressing like that, not because that is you, but because something happened to you, maybe a childhood trauma or something like that. So I always prefer, it's better for you to actually sit down and listen to what someone is saying instead of just throwing your hand and saying, I'm a do me. You know, that's, nobody can tell me what to do, because there's so many people who are saying that. But at times you're just being very toxic and you all pile will just be on you. So it's always very important to listen to what people are saying. So when we talk about someone saying, maybe you went separate ways because of how you're dressing, ask yourself, is it the authentic me? Yes. Okay. Do I have any traumas that I'm dealing with or whatever, you know, all this blah, blah, blah? No. All right. So then is it worth it for me to go back to that person who was putting me down all the time because of dressing? No, because then it won't change. Instead, they'll try to change you to, meaning you will not live a satisfied life. So that's not something that you want to cut off from your life. Then that's when we say, let it go.
Yep.
Let it go. There has to be someone else out there for you.
And as a lady, what would you tell a lady who is thinking about winning back her ex-boyfriend?
Ex-boyfriend.
You know,
This is single.
Ladies are the ones who normally want to be won over. Now, today, tell us, we also want to be won over. What would you want?
What? That's a hard one. For this single guy, right? They're single.
Both of them are single.
Not married.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the ladies with herself, and she's thinking, no, I think I had a good guy, or I want to give it another shot.
Yeah, and we've seen so much of that in our inboxes. We've cancelled so many of those cases where the lady just realizes after, you know, a night in the shining, someone with let's say the money, because that's the most of the cases. Someone with a lot of money comes along the way, and then they break their heart, and they realize the guy I left was actually the right one, in as much as they didn't have money. We've seen those cases. And one thing that I would always want to tell the single lady is, you know what? Position yourself, number one, to be sorry. You should be sorry from the depths of your heart. You should be able to have seen the picture how it was. So go back and say, you know what? I made a mistake. It's very hard for you to just come out and say, well, I made a mistake and you know, I was wrong. Please forgive me. But believe me, it carries a lot of character when you're able to go and tell your ex-boyfriend, I'm sorry, I did a mistake. So now the rest of the play, what you do after that, will determine whether you can go back together or not. Because at times he's moved on and he has all the right to. But what if purpose, destiny, everything. You were meant to be. And we've seen so many of these cases, and yes, they've gotten back together. Begin to position yourself in the way you talk to him, in the way you give him the attention. Someone has to see a difference between a certain guy you're talking to and this guy that you're trying to win over. There has to be an extra attention. There has to be an extra thing, an extra oomph towards the guy, your ex, that you're trying to win over.
Okay.
Let's talk about marriage.
Marriage.
What about those who are married?
Married is an interesting one. We do it now, next.
Let's do it the next one.
Yeah, in the next video,
Right.
next week, we are going to talk about marriage. You're married,
Yes.
and then you've gotten separated, or even divorced, and you want to win back your ex. How do you go about it?
Yeah.
So join us next week.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. God bless you. See you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.